This is TNA Impact Wrestling's Rockstar Spud, and you're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Here we are again, guys, right here on WrestlingEpicenter.com. Welcome to the show. My name is James Walsh, and this is Interactive Wrestling Radio. Today we bring you a special guest from TNA Impact Wrestling. We have one of their biggest stars who actually main evented Impact on Pop TV this past week. Rockstar Spud is our guest this week. Great interview. I think you guys are really going to enjoy what he has to say. We certainly enjoyed doing it, and we hope he enjoyed it as well. I want to thank TNA Impact Wrestling for helping us arrange such an interview with one of their top stars. Certainly appreciated, guys. Keep them coming if you'd be so kind. A couple of things of housekeeping. TNA Impact Wrestling has Victory Road, one night only, airing right now on pay-per-view. I've had a chance to see it already. Trust me, guys, you guys are going to enjoy it. It's a really solid wrestling show, a lot of fun to watch, and it's a really good price. So if you have the opportunity, order it on pay-per-view. Order it and DVR it. You can watch it whenever you want. Keep a copy of it, too. So pick it up. Every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. on Pop TV, Impact Wrestling. And then coming up June the 12th, the big one, the granddaddy of them all, as Mean Gene Okerlund used to say. It is Slammiversary. 14 years in the making. Oh my gosh. Can you believe it's been 14 years? I remember where I was June 19th of 2002. 1 week after this coming Slammiversary, where I was in Ohio at the time, not living there, long story, but I did catch that pay-per-view. I still have it on the shelf over there, VHS copy and a DVD copy, because I like to keep current, and it was one of the greatest shows we saw. Certainly launched this great thing we now know as Impact Wrestling, and I hope you guys tune in for Slammiversary, because it could be one that'll live on your shelf for the next 14 years as well. Hope everybody enjoys this interview. We will be back next week with Del Wilkes, the Patriot, joining us next week on Interactive Wrestling Radio, as well as Jeannie Clark, Jeannie Williams, whichever you'd like to call her, former Lady Blossom, the former wife of gentleman Chris Adams and Steve Austin, who has a new book out now called Through the Shattered Glass. So this is going to be a really good couple of weeks here at Interactive Wrestling Radio. Once again, all started off by TNA Impact Wrestling, presenting us with one of their top stars, Rockstar Spud. And I'm done. My job's done. I hope you guys enjoy the interview. Let's get right to the action.
This is Matt Hardy, the Angelic Diablo, and you are listening to the interactive interview. Make sure to tune in each and every week. And remember, I will scar you.
Welcome back to Interactive Wrestling Radio. On the Newsmaker line with us right now is a guy I just watched on my TV 5 seconds before my phone rang, and that is TNA superstar Rockstar Spud. Spud, are you with us?
How the devil are you, lads?
It's great to have you on the show, man. I got to ask you, well, I got to tell you, actually, my oldest son, who's 15, is nicknamed Spud. Now, in all fairness, my wife is English, and she gave him that nickname because he used to bang his legs on everything when he was a toddler, and he looked like a bruised potato. So, being English, she called him a Spud. Curious, where did you come up with the name Spud?
It was pretty much essentially given to me because it resembled something small that people could relate to. But yeah, I kind of liked it because I used to watch Trainspotting when I was a kid. This movie, British movie, and one of the characters on there was called Spud, and he was highly entertaining because he was an absolute maniac. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty much where it came from. It wasn't anything deep or meaningful. It was just, yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with that one, yeah.
Okay, cool. How about the Rockstar part of it? Obviously, you got the Rockstar look going, but where did you decide that you wanted to kind of emulate my style of music, which is, 80s bombastic rock and roll?
Well, that's the type of music that I absolutely love and adore, and I'm an 80s child. So, that's 80s, 90s movies, 80s, 90s music, 80s, 90s pop, rock, absolutely anything 80s, 90s. But, the Rockstar version of me came because, if anybody knows me well, I'm the one that will be at the bar until closing, I'll be the one carrying on the party, and I'll also be the one that will go to bed at last. And then everybody else will wake up in the morning with hangovers, and I'll be in the gym already like, hey guys, how you doing? It's like, no sell completely. So Rockstar came from that. It was just that, like, I'm a maniac. It's just one of them things where it was, that's my personality turned up to 11 as if I would be if I had a few beers with my friends and I'm just out for having a good time. So that's where it essentially came from being underdog, just Spud, to Rockstar Spud, which is like, you absolute train wreck. You're a maniac. How are you doing this?
And to attest to the bar part, when you called me, you said you were at a Buffalo Wild Wings watching yourself on Impact. Am I correct?
Well, we were. Yeah, they in my local, they kind of know me as the British guy. So anytime I go in there, they just put the show on straight away because it's one of the things. We just go in there and hang out, and then we'll be hitting Nashville downtown later on because that's what you do. There's only two things to do in Nashville, Tennessee: there's country music and drink. So yeah, it's all good. All good.
You started channeling James Storm there for a second. It sounded like.
Well, he lives here. I was out with him the weekend, so he was. No, the same old thing with the Cowboys. It's Nashville. This is what it does to you.
Awesome. Well, I want to ask you. I'm going to let Patrick get a couple questions in here in a second, but I kind of hogged the beginning of this one. But you actually used to work for a promotion that my co-host used to run. Well, still runs actually. And if you don't know the history of our show. This show started in 2003, and for the first 2 years, Daniel Edler was my co-host in IPW UK.
IPW UK. There we
yes,
go.
Sir.
Orpington Halls. I'm born and bred. There we go.
Any thoughts on my former co-host? How do you guys get along? And what was it like working for his promotion over there in the UK?
Dan was great. I mean, he was one of the first ones that was outside of the FWA to bring in people from other countries that, as imports, as we call them, that weren't brought in for the FWA, and they're from a niche background. Like I remember the first show he brought in Super Dragon, and he'd bring people in periodically. I remember when he brought Vampiro in. I remember when he brought Max Lydell and Delirious in. So just periodically, he'd be bringing people in that people were interested in, and we're getting buzz at the time that were outside of the regulars that the FWA would bring and promote. So that was one of the things Dan did, and it wasn't just Dan. It was Dan started probably like the tree branch for people like Andy Quilden that now runs Revolution Pro, because they branched off and did their own thing, and Dan continues to do his own thing. But that's where it all came about. So it was a collection of minds in the early days, and there's so many people that went through IPW UK and Revolution Pro back in the UK that actually went out and became a big British wrestling stars and big stars all over the world. And
absolutely,
the promoters give you a platform and an opportunity to sell yourself to the fans. So you can't thank them enough in that respect.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned a big platform, and obviously probably the biggest platform you ever got given was your chance to reach out and be a part of TNA wrestling on British Boot Camp. Obviously, your history with Big Brother had to be a big part of what gave you the confidence to undergo such a challenge with Boot Camp. But what was it like deciding to be part of British Boot Camp?
It was fine. It was an opportunity, and I just thought to myself, right, I'm 29 years old. I really need to, I really want to give this wrestling team a go. This is the opportunity. So you got to go in 110%, 150%, whatever. So I threw everything into it, and lo and behold, they picked me out of everybody. And I hope they don't regret it. I'm sure they do, because I'm an annoying young man. But if they're happy, I'm happy, because I'm still going.
One of the first things that first people that I heard really put you over huge was on the Slammiversary teleconference in 2013. You were only with TNA for a short time, but Bully Ray, man, he was asked flat out who would be the next big star from TNA, and he said, watch out for Rockstar Spud. Never mind his size. Just keep an eye out for him. I think this kid has the potential to be the next big thing.
He was, and always has been. He's just a tremendous leader, and as well as just someone that I could always, Bubba's got his way. He's got his way with everyone, but I'm able to, I was able to just speak to him and I'd be like, sir, can I ask you some advice? Like, what do you want? But we had a love-hate relationship. There was no hate involved in it. It just always was like, Bubba was the big bully to me, and you just did that. You just still asked him and he'd give you the best advice ever, because the fact that he saw something in me and he was such a hero of mine growing up is just the most awesome thing ever. And I always text him periodically and just say, hey man, like I saw his documentary recently, within a D-Bun. I just wanted to say, I was like, your story was so awesome, and I'm so thankful that you're part of mine. And I truly mean that, because he helped me a lot. I grew a lot. I got to work two of my heroes in the business. He's an all-around great person, and don't tell anyone I said that, because he'll probably punch me for saying that. So, yeah,
Well, I mentioned my wife's English, and I deal with the accent all the time, and she deals with mine all the time, and I'm probably a little closer to bully than you'd like me to be. But I'm going to ask you this question: moving from the UK to the US, and obviously being positioned in OVW and Louisville and kind of the middle of the redneck area, to put it politely, was it a major culture shock for you?
It was a major culture shock in the way just the United States operate in regards to, Social Security, homeowners, all that sort of stuff, renting an apartment, all that sort of stuff. That was different. Everything else, it's been actually really cool, and I don't know if it's because I'm a foreigner, but it's, I love your accent. As soon as you get that, I'm quite a personable person, and I love talking to people and meeting new people, so you just get on with it, It's part of life, man. You got to evolve. You got to, I'm in another country. Thank God it's a country that actually speaks the same language as me, even though they profess to me that they're talking American, because, I'm sorry, I'm the one butchering the American language. But, you know how it is. I love being here. It's a wonderful, wonderful country. And the fact that I've had the opportunity to live here the past 3 years is a blessing. It's an absolute blessing.
I'm going to take a step back because I've kind of hogged this. Daniel, Daniel, what am I talking about? Patrick, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, did you want to take the next one? Because I've kind of been hogging it.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. So, you talked a little bit about your personality and the amount of effort that you put into your wrestling and everything. And personally, the last few years, I think you've been one of the best parts of TNA. But your character has also evolved and changed. You started off as kind of a more of a comedy character, a little bit of a heel, and like the sniveling little suck up, and you turned into this plucky underdog, and you've kind of gone back to the heel role, but you've done it all so well. Which version of your personality and which version of your character did you prefer playing the most?
Here's the thing. I'm a performer, and if they told me to go out there and be a dinosaur, I'd give you the best version of a dinosaur that I could. Honestly, what do you want me to be? What do you want out of this? Here it is. That's part of being an all-round great performer. I'm not saying that I'm an all-round great performer, and I'm not shoot smoke up my ass here, but like one of the best all-round performers I ever saw was Eric Young. I thought he was amazing. No matter what he was given, he made it gold.
Absolutely.
It was just like Santino Morella, people like that. Like whatever they get given, here's chicken shit, make it chicken soup, and they did it every time. And that is what, to me, in the wrestling industry, is what a great performer should be. And whatever you're given, you should make it work, because you can bitch and whinge, complain about it, and blah, 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 but this is the wonderful world of pro wrestling, and if you're very, very good, you can make anything work. And my job is the performer to do that, because the writer has told me, or the boss man has told me, this is what we want you to do, this is the story, blah, 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 this is the thing. But,
awesome.
That's a great idea. When you turn up to work, and they tell you, you're working on a hot dog stand, well, I want to work on burgers today. Well, you're on a hot dog stand today. Well, no. I've been working on hot dogs for 3 weeks. I want to work on the burger. It's the exact same mentality. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sick of being a babyface. I want to be a heel now. Oh, I'm sick of being a heel. I want to be... Shut up, everyone. Who's your fucking cold? Get paid. Excuse me. Language. All right. Anyway.
Well, one thing that you did that worked out very, very well was your feud with Ethan Carter III, EC3, and that hair versus hair.
Screw that guy. I never want to talk about him. No, let's not talk about him. Screw him. Screw him.
Well, I was going to say, the match you had was one of my favorite matches in the last few years, and I thought you did an amazing job in that. What are your memories of doing that match?
The match? All I know is when we knew we were going to make something special of the whole thing. Like, I'm talking from the moment that they said that we're going to split you guys off, because originally I don't believe that they were going to split us off and it beat anything. I think it was actually an occasion where one performer went to one of the writing team or the boss man or whatever and just went, hey, I think we've got something here and we shouldn't just get rid of it like that. And they agreed. So they wrote in a program. And I can't thank Dave Lagana, Matt Conway and John Gaburi for giving us that platform and the opportunity to work such a program. They wrote all of that and we performed it, if that makes sense. So every opportunity that was given to perform that story was what they gave us. Now the match, we just wanted to go out there and not just give you a match, we wanted to give you a presentation of a story and a presentation of love and hate, and you wanted the good guy to win and you wanted the bad guy to lose, and that was it. And I'm a British kid. I was in Wembley Arena. I was in front of thousands of my home countrymen. One of the best experiences of my life, and it was also one of EC3's. So it was just being able to be an artist and tell a story, and the fact that it made people talk about Impact Wrestling again. That meant more to us than anything. It wasn't about us getting over, it was about getting the company over. And that's why we really, really were proud of that, and we're still proud of it to this day, because, like, it's just one of them things where you're able to make something and people admired it and still talk about it. And if that's all I'm going to be remembered for the rest of my life, I'm fine with that, because...
In 10 years you might be doing another podcast and they'll probably still ask you about that match.
and that shows you what we did that day. So that I thank everybody that still occasionally sends us a video, sends us a picture or anything like that. And just because I was there then, or I remember that, or it's just very rewarding as a performer to hear that.
Awesome. Well, your attitude has been phenomenal, and you've been putting over TNA both on our show and elsewhere since your arrival there. And you hear a lot on the internet. And the Internet's not necessarily the most positive of places. In fact, it's probably the most negative that you could ever be in. What is going on with the locker room in TNA? And do you have any comment on these constant nonsense stories about the quote-unquote bad morale?
I mean, well, you see what Brad, the director of Pops, just put out and said about answering speculation about utter tribbles that you hear sometimes. I mean, here's the deal, man. I'm a company man. I love this company, and I will fight this company until they no longer want me to fight for them no more, And when I'm at work, I'm around the most positive, motivated locker room on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. No matter where I've gone, whether it be the independents, whether it be, whether I'm doing an acting thing, whether I'm doing something for television or anything like that, there's no better hard-working people than the camera guys, the lighting guys, the carpentry guys, the roster, the management. There's no positive locker room than our guys. Yes, there might be stuff going on like that we don't know of, but that doesn't affect our work, and that doesn't affect what product we're going to give out to our fans and the wrestling fans all over the world. So our job is to do what we do. We don't know or go on and seek out any more than that. We can only do what we're presented with, and everybody wants to be involved in something or talk negatively about something, so there's a topic of conversation and the sheep follow, and it's a downward spiral from there. It's like a snowball effect, but cross the bridge when you come to it, I think. and if this bridge isn't coming up to me, I'm not going to bother about it. I'm not going to worry about it either.
There you go. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I concentrate on me, and a lot of people concentrate on other people and little things, which tells me their minds aren't very big at all. So I just concentrate on me, I concentrate on Impact Wrestling, I concentrate on the great product that we put out every Tuesday on Pop.
Always look on the bright side of life.
You know what I mean? That's what Eric Idle said at the loss of Brian, so we got to do it. We got to do it. Monty Python, God bless him.
There you go. All right, well, we're going to let you go here pretty soon, but I just wanted to ask you a little bit more going forward, and that is, you mentioned the director of Pop TV having nothing but kind things to say about the experience with TNA Impact Wrestling. What has you as a performer's relationship been and experience been so far in the Pop TV era of Impact Wrestling, and how has it been for the company, do you believe?
I think it's been great for the company. I think we're a great fit with their network. Brad's been wonderful when he's came and watched our shows and just said hello just to get known to the performers and everything like that. But they're a great network to work for. I mean, they've got great original programming like ourselves, like Schitt's Creek that you can watch every week. They're a growing network, which is why they want to attract a different kind of audience, which I think pro wrestling does bring to any network. And my God, sometimes they even put on Point Break. What could be better?
Awesome.
What could be better
The
than
original.
that?
The original.
The original, yes. Whatever the hell that remake was, I never want to speak. It's worse than the Karate Kid. I had a young lady who's 23 years old come up to me, and I went, "Have you seen Point Break?" She went, "Yeah, that new one."
Oh,
and
man.
Oh God, she don't know who Bodie is. She don't know about Keanu Reeves. She don't know about what Back Off War Child. She don't know nothing. Forget that. I don't even want to. You know what? Forget it. Pop are a great network to work for, but the Point Break remake was utter garbage.
Oh, yes, it was. No, and the thing was, they showed it like 3 times the weekend the remake came out, and I watched it every single time it was on because that Bodie character is just so damn cool. So
it's the best. I wish I had why these long golden locks in that film. So
yeah, so different. And when you think about it, that's like 2 years after Ghost came out. Could it have been a more different role? How awesome is that?
Well, that's a character Swayze. I'm standing here right now wearing a Patrick Swayze shirt.
Are you really?
I swear to God. Like that, I've got my t-shirt. If you tweet me, I'll send you the picture of the t-shirt. But the picture I got, it's got Bodie on it. It's got Dalton from Roadhouse. It's got when he was in 30 Dancing with Jennifer Grey, and it's got just some random one, which I think is either it's just a you know when you have like a profile shot. Well, he's got this awesome mullet on it, so nothing gets better than this. Nothing gets better than this. I'm the biggest Swayze fan in the world.
But not a picture from Tu Wong Fu.
No, they don't. Not at all. Well, beggars can't be choosers, but this is the best of the bad bunch,
All right. Well, man, I appreciate you spending as much time with you. We will let you go in just a moment. I did want to mention that it was so cool that when you called, literally just a few seconds before I was watching you take a twist of fate on the ladder. That's got to be very cool, even though, I'm 35. I'm going to be 35. I'm about a year older than you. My co-host is just a year younger than you, I think. So we're right around the same ages, but it still has to be very cool to say that you're in a ladder match with Jeff Hardy.
Absolutely. And it's, that's how you should, yes, it's a business. Look at it as a business, know what you're worth and everything like that. But also, don't forget that why you got into this in the first place and why you're doing it is to make people happy and to make somebody in 10 years' time remember that I remember watching Rockstar Spud versus EC3 at Wembley Arena in a hair versus hair match, and that's why I'm a wrestler. And I remember when I was watching Jeff Hardy when I was growing up, jumping off ladders and Matt Hardy jumping off ladders and, landing through tables, everything like that. That's why I'm a pro wrestler, because I remember all that stuff. And you should take all these things, and yet they're great memories, and you should cherish them because this business owes you nothing. And I wouldn't be in the US and have the quality of life I do right now without this industry. It has to do with my hard work and perseverance and never saying no to, not letting people say no to me, but at the same time, this is the industry, and it's because of the other people in the industry that are taking bumps to build this industry. So look at it from that point of view. Don't look at it from the negative Nancy point of view that you could. Just be happy with what you have. Some people don't get the opportunity to live their dreams. Some people get the opportunity to just go on the indies and work and wrestle and then be like, oh, I never went to WWE. Yeah, but there's a bunch of people that paid to see you and are extremely happy and were affected in their lives by watching you. And, that goes a lot more than you, having boo-boo face,
I agree. And coming up in just a few weeks is the TNA anniversary show. It's been 14 years.
Slammiversary.
June 12th.
14 years. June 12th. It's live on pay-per-view. So, get the pay-per-view. Coming up the best time of your life. I think it's going to be the Miracle Mike Bennett versus EC3 in their rematch. And sadly, being no longer aligned with Matt Hardy, I think it's going to be Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy in a Full Metal Mayhem match with Drew Galloway, the World Heavyweight Champion, against Bobby Lashley for the World Heavyweight Championship. So those are the 3 top matches on the card. Who knows what's going to happen, but I can promise you it's going to be a phenomenal pay-per-view.
Awesome.
Very cool.
We can't wait. We can't wait to see you on it. We'll see you on Pop TV next week, and of course, we'll all be tuning in for Slammiversary on June 12th. And until next time, stay tuned for more from the interactive interview.
Awesome. Thank you, James. Thank you, Patrick. Thanks for having us again. Watch us Slammiversary.
And until next time, stay tuned for more from the interactive interview.
Awesome. Thank you, James. Thank you, Patrick. Thanks for having us again. Watch us Slammiversary June 12th.
Enjoying what you're hearing? Be sure and check out WrestlingEpicenter.com on social media at Facebook.com/WrestlingEpicenter, on Twitter at James Epicenter, and of course, WrestlingEpicenter.com for 24-hour news updates, our interview archives, and all the other information you've come to expect from the Wrestling Epicenter.
Hey, interview, George, Bo, hey, don't hang up, bye-bye.
The magic's in my head, I can't understand, but I still like my chances, and it doesn't really matter to me, I take my stand, but I still like my chances. Ow. No.
We certainly hope you enjoyed our Rockstar Spud interview as much as we enjoyed conducting it. It's James Walsh back with you here on WrestlingEpicenter.com. If you're tuning in to hear our usual wrap-up segment, you'll have to tune in next week because, unfortunately, between myself being back and forth to the hospital, my mother-in-law is in the ICU, and Patrick Kelly has challenges that he's been facing as well, we just didn't have the ability to record our usual wrap-up wrestling discussion. I did, however, want to take this opportunity to thank TNA Impact Wrestling for helping set up the interview with Rockstar Spud. I want to encourage everybody to check out TNA One Night Only Victory Road on pay-per-view right now and all month long. You can also check out Impact Wrestling every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. on Pop TV. And finally, don't forget the big one, Slammiversary, the granddaddy of them all, as Mean Gene Okerlund used to say, June the 12th. Man, it's been 14 years. I can remember where I was June 19th when this company first set sail way back in 2002. Here we are 14 years later. I'm still here. They're still here. They're still trucking. They're still doing their thing, as are we. And we wish them nothing but the best of success in the days and the months and the years ahead. Again, thank you to Impact Wrestling for setting this interview up. Stay tuned next week. We have Del Wilkes, the former Patriot, joining us, as well as Jeannie Clark, the former wife of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and gentleman Chris Adams, as well as those handsome boys, those dapper duo, the Whirlwind Gentlemen from Paragon Pro Wrestling will be joining us as well. So you got a really cool set of mixed bag of guests coming up in the future. Again, hope everybody checks out TNA on Pop. Best rating they've gotten in the Pop era this past Tuesday night, which saw our guest this week in the main event. Hey, how cool is that? See you next week right here at WrestlingEpicenter.com.